Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashadakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadanti Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajeevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Dev Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagar Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Ishabhanasute Devi Pranamami Hariti Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaः. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Param Shri Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamne Namaste Saraswate Devi Durvanacharya Madhusha Pashta Prabhu's Pataji Hare Krishna. So I will share the screen for the texts first. Oh, if I do, I will be reading from the book. Should someone else do it? Yes, Prabhu, thank you. So yesterday we were discussing this particular chapter. What's happening in this chapter? Is it something that we can summarize briefly in some 3-4 sentences? Anybody? This is something we should follow when we take up this serious study in groups, you know. Like you are already doing it for many years. I'm not here to, in fact, I have to learn many things from you all. But having said that, I just wanted to put these little things which normally is followed in good practices. It may be a repetition for you if you are already doing it. But just that always when we are doing a sequential, like day after day reading, it's good to have a recap of the previous day or previous couple of days, the discussion, main salient points basically. Summarized in 3-4 sentences, not like 5-10 minutes of a long speech kind of, but just 3-4 sentences. Somebody can do it. And the other thing is that we should also always ensure that at least 1 or 2, if not more, everybody should take notes, but 1 or 2 should be given the service of taking notes and then sharing it in the group. This need not be dedicated only to one person, otherwise all others will become very kind of relaxed, and then they say someone else is doing it for us, why should we do? So the facilitator should actually keep rotating the service, like okay, one day to one person, another day to another person. So that way everybody will get a chance to do that notes taking service. And also another interesting thing that we should follow while doing this group study is that the coordinator or the facilitator can prepare some nice questions and throw it into open it up to the group to share. It will be a nice discussion point again. If they are a bit busy, then they can appoint someone else to do this service. That way the other in the group also can get an opportunity to. This is one way of increasing the interest for the participants. Like somebody will take, oh, I like this service of writing the notes and sharing it. I like this service of putting some question kind of thing. Or then you will then the chapters in Bhagavatam, the texts in Bhagavatam, episodes and all. There is a very interesting magic that happens as we dive deeper and deeper into them. Krishna naturally, in his form of this literary incarnation, Grantraj, he will give us some ideas which will help us develop some sequences or some kind of a list. For example, when you study through Kunti prayers, which we did many years ago in one of our groups in Bangalore. While studying, we got this idea that Kunti Maharani is addressing Krishna in so many different transcendental qualities that we can list them all and try to meditate on each one of them like that. So this is something which you can form subgroups within the group, like couple of devotees or 2-3 devotees together, and then give them that particular exercise. That okay, you take 5 verses and list down the qualities and meditate and share your thoughts. Like that, another devotee. Like this, we can engage everybody in this service. Suppose you are doing a chapter. And another thing which we did, very nice, this thing which we did, I will share it later, that in an entire chapter, we were collecting the various transcendental qualities of Parishit Maharaj, and each quality we gave to one group of devotees, like 2 devotees each, like that. Some groups there are 3. Then they came up with some of the nice points. And so it was a very interesting exercise that we did on one of the chapters, which I would share with you once we complete this exercise. So this way, a group study can be absorbing, relishable, and also intense. It's like we are so much into it that we start enjoying it. Right? It's not something like we do it like a ritual. Oh, I have been doing this. Let me do every day, like that. Not like a ritual or something like that. Huh? So, who can do a quick 4-line summary of yesterday? This entire chapter that we discussed yesterday. What's happening? Anyone, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Or Chanchalapati Prabhu, yes.
Yes. Prabhuji, yesterday what we have read from that main point which I have took is that the Vaikuntha view is that they don't get envious. Instead, if someone advances, they love it, they encourage it, and they take inspiration from it. But they don't hinder
Prabhu, sorry to interrupt you, Prabhu. You are doing you are sharing some amazing points. But my question was, summarize the entire chapter in 4 lines. What exactly is happening in this chapter? It's not the main point. This entire chapter, what's happening? Prithu Maharaj is doing the yajna, and then what happens?
Prithu Maharaj is doing the horse sacrifice yajna, and for the welfare of the entire kingdom people.
Yeah.
But Indra, who has already done this yajna, he is feared of that if Prithu Maharaj is successfully completing his yajna, then he will tip my position.
Okay, 1 minute. So, if this is the case, then Bali Maharaj did yajna, Yudhishthira Maharaj did yajna. He didn't come and hinder all of them. But why did he hinder Prithu Maharaj?
Because his position was at danger.
But why his position would have been in danger when others also were doing? Very simple answer, no. Yudhishthira Maharaj was doing only 3. But in order to become Indra, we have to do 100. So Prithu Maharaj was doing 100 yajnas. So that's when he became scared. Okay, please continue, Prabhu.
So then Indra took all the false way to somehow stop his yajna, make his yajna unsuccessful.
Right.
and in that event he took the he wore the he became like a sadhu, and he came and tried
Ah,
to steal
correct.
a horse. And every time then his son Prithu Maharaj's son used to go and chase him, he got invisible and give the horse back.
Yes,
Then
yes.
Brahma came, and Brahma told him that no need of doing 100 yagya, you just do 99 yagya and you will
Hmm.
get the all benefit. And
Hmm.
Prithu Maharaj agreed to Brahma's instruction and
Right,
stopped his yagya.
right.
This was that in the chapter.
Yes, so beautiful, Prabhu. You summarized so nicely. You didn't go deeper into beyond whatever is supposed to be mentioned. This is how, when you concisely want to summarize, this will give us a starter, right? From yesterday, the continuity between last yesterday's and today's. Of course, we discussed many other points also, like you were about to say this very salient point. Now, can you say that salient point that you were saying, Prabhu?
So that was that there it was written that it is the Vakunta bhav that we, when someone excels in his field, they get encouraged with it and they support him, and they are not feeling jealous. Inside they each one of them cooperate and they inspire to advance more. But in material world, what
Ah,
we do that
yes,
we become jealous, envious, and we want to bring him down. So this
exactly.
is
So
the difference
beautiful.
in material and Vakunta mood.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Prabhu. So nicely you shared that. The devotees who is excelled who is excelled thinks how fortunate the other person is to be advancing in devotional service. Such non-envy is typical of Vaikuntha. Hmm. So beautiful. Thank you so much, Anjalpati Prabhu. So any other points someone remembers from yesterday? Discussion.
Indra started Apasampradaya or kind of
Yes,
things.
yes, yes. You are also asking this question about 24, 25. Look, I didn't really get what exactly specifically you wanted to know from that particular purport, Prabhu. Or you just wanted to read it and discuss, or
Prabhuji, there in that purport, Prabhupada
Hmm,
mentions like some
hmm.
sannyasis, they become naked and do sinful activities.
Right.
We see in some religion, it's like
Hmm,
pious thing or respectful things.
hmm,
And even when we see in day-to-day life,
hmm.
these sannyasis are really looks very decent. And so, what is the fact, Prabhuji?
No, Prabhupada does not say everyone is fake. Prabhupada says there are few people who use this, because when somebody is completely renounced, like not even wearing dress and they're just moving, as you said, there is this Nag Babas who never wear dresses, and they're in the our what is that, our Triveni Sangam, when they are doing that the 12 years once, what is that, Kumbhabhisheka? No, Kumbh Mela.
Kumbh Mela.
Kumbh Mela.
Kumbh Mela.
Yeah, so in Kumbh Mela, you see many of them come, and there are many who are really powerful also. But because they are given respect for their renunciation, many others who want to fake it are quickly want to achieve that name and fame and glories and all. They are doing it. So for the same thing, you will see bona fide and non bona fide. But it is a duty of Prabhupada to bring it up here so that we don't end up accepting anybody and everybody as bona fide and get cheated. Does it help, Prabhu? Or you have further questions on that?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes. Thank you.
So even you see, even in Jains, for example, they have a, I think they some Digambar or something they have, no? They go naked in
Exactly,
some
Prabhuji. This was in
procession.
my mind. I didn't use the Jain word.
Yeah. So that is, I mean, they are doing, maybe they are doing very austere things. Not so easy to go like that in the thing today. But whatever that they do, to the extent of that, the bona fideness of that austerity, whatever, we should just respect them. But we don't have to be like too much enamored or too much absorbed into that kind of thing. Like for example, this is very interesting thing also, because Prabhupada always warned us not to get into fanatical type of austerities. It can be fanatical, because one of the primary differences we have, Sachidanand Prabhu, is that we are a preaching society. Correct?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So when we are preaching, we can't go like that naked to somebody's house and do preaching. What will happen? They will throw stones at us or put us into the mental hospital, right? So that Maharaj Prabhupada always said that you should be gentle, you should be amiable or amicable, easily approachable and pleasing and soothing to the people to whom you are going to preach. The others, they don't have anything to preach. They just want to live in their own way, and they don't want anybody to come and ask them questions, or they don't expect others to follow them in that way. So they're just by themselves. It's like that. I wouldn't say this difference between Bhajananandi and Goshanandi, but it's somewhat similar to that. It's not exactly same replica of this difference in Vaishnava cult, but somewhat similar. They are just Bhajananandi. They just want to be happy with themselves, maybe. But in the same way, some people will be cheating, and people might get cheated by them. So that's the warning that Prabhupada gives. I see Kanika Mataji saying some, he said, I don't know if it is question or point. 99 greater than 100 from transcendental view perspective. Prathu Maharaj's 19 sacrifices are greater effect due to his transcendental qualities versus Indra's 100 sacrifices, which puffed up with Shatak Pratushtha. Very true. Very beautiful explanation, Kanika Mataji. Thank you for that. So this explanation helps you, Sachidanand Prabhu, right? In this particular verse.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, Prabhu. Somebody was saying something. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to go now is that a very interesting thing that I noticed. This is how the word for word equivalents are so amazing with Prabhupada. Let me try to get that one. Was it? Enter into the end. It is like they enter into the darkest future. Yes. This is the verse that we wanted to go yesterday. This Masmin Maharaja. That's 4:19, 32, 33, 34. If you open that up, there is a very interesting, So let's read this shloka once again. Masmin Maharaja Kritasma Chintam Nishamayasmad Vacha Adritatma Yadhyayato Daiva Hatam Kartum Manotirustam Vishate Tamondam. Let's try to meditate on this. Can somebody read the word for word equivalents to begin with? You just read, we will not repeat, just read.
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna ji. So, Ma means do not. Asmin, in this. Maharaja, O king. Krita, do. Sama, as done in the past. Chinta, agitation. Sorry, Prabhuji.
Sma, it's not Sama, it's Sma.
Sma is as done in the past. Chintam is agitation of the mind. Nishamaya.
Nishamaya. There is a dash over yes, so we have to pronounce it as Sha.
Sure.
Nishamaya.
Nishamaya, please consider Asmat, my Vacha words, Adrata Atma, being very respectful, Yat, because Dhyayata, of him who is contemplating, Deva Hatam, that which is thwarted by providence, nu, certainly, kartum, to do, mana, the mind, atirushtam, very angry, vishate, enters, tamha, darkness, andham, dense.
Very nice. Now, please read the translation also, Madhu.
Ji. My dear king, do not be agitated and anxious because your sacrifices has not been properly executed due to providential impediments. Kindly take my words with great respect. We should always remember that if something happens by providential arrangement, we should not be very sorry. The more we try to rectify such reversals, the more we enter into the darkest region of the materialistic thought.
Beautiful translation. This verse is the crown jewel of this entire chapter, or even you can say entire Bhagavatam also. This will really appeal to us to connect with those things when we really could not. It was something unpalatable happened, and we try to rectify it or correct it. And the more we meditate on the problem, the more we will get into the more we try to rectify such reversals, the more we enter into the darkest region of materialistic thought. Amazing statement. Now, this is where we should, in our deep study, one of the things we have to do is that we have to, like we studied now, this word for word, we just read it, but it's not enough. There is something which is very interesting. We have to look into the key words, like something which is really, blowing immediately. Something like, say, for example, asmin in this, it's a normal word. Sma, as done in the past, okay. Asmat, my, these are all normal words. But some key phrases will be there. That we have to take. And then we have to contemplate on it. Even in our, in order to study for the class, this thing will be very helpful. This tip. So, for example, here, we can, in our own way, we can spend some time and take out, oh, this word I like. It may not be that, you have to be correct. But something which is appealing to you, you can always say. And then when we say, oh, this is appealing to me. Why it is appealing to me? That is something which we will have to explain further. Right? You see, Brahma's mood also is so beautifully intertwined in these words. And that is where Prabhupada's greatness is there in giving the word for word equivalents. Right? I will ask you one question. The word Chintam, how Prabhupada has translated it? Word for word.
Agitation of the mind.
Agitation of the mind. When you come to the translation, how he has translated it?
Do not be agitated and anxious.
So, Prabhupada has included this word anxious in translation, though he had not specifically put that in the word for word. Isn't it? So there must be some connection between agitation and anxiety, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So this is something which you will have to meditate on. This is what I'm telling. Like when you see, first you pick out keywords, see how it is represented in the word for word, and then represented in the translation, and then meditate on what might be the reason Prabhupada. It's not that we are trying to think into the mind of Prabhupada and all that. No, not so much really, because Prabhupada is transcendental. He's speaking whatever Krishna has given. When he's just bestowing upon him that transcendental mercy to keep doing the greatest service of writing, compiling this all these wonderful texts, and we are just trying to relish how Prabhupada so nicely has done this thing. So I will just not answer anything here, because if just one person does it, then we will not have the opportunity to try to meditate on. But I'm just picking up these things and sharing with you that we can meditate on. Why is Prabhupada is adding this word anxious? How does agitation and anxiety, how are the word agitation and anxiety related? Then you will see one more thing. Who is sharing this? Is it Pranav Prabhu? Can you click on that word Chintam? You will be able to click on it. This is one nice trick that you can follow in Vedabase. Now, for all the different types of words that Prabhupada is translated, it will come under here. See how Prabhupada is translated. Here it is agitation of the mind. Then in 1611, he is saying fears and anxieties. And then another place, anxiety. So many places it is predominantly anxiety. Right? Now we can come to
Prabhuji, how did you do that? Sorry, I didn't follow. How did you
go back? You in the word for word equivalent, you just click on that word. That's all. So that way, it's a very nice tool to. In book, you may not be able to get it unless and until you have, even if you have read it thoroughly, still there will be something missing. But here, this search thing helps so much, so nicely, So here you see very interesting. Prabhupada is saying agitation of the mind in this, but you see that for Chintam word, he has used the word anxiety alone in 7-8 different places. Prabhu, can you please click on that word Chintam? See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 verses he has used this word anxiety for Chintam. Now this is only Chintam. You can also try Chinta. Chinta, if you just say Chinta, then that will give so many different other things. Everywhere he has used the word anxiety. In the word forward also. So when there is agitation, there is always anxiety, isn't it? There cannot be anxiety without agitation. They both are very much connected. So agitation means restlessness. Anxiety means worry. So if mind becomes restless, then the worry also is connected with it. You see? So this is I'm not going to tell the entire thing. I would leave it to you for contemplating on these points through various means and this thing. In every single verse, you will see that Prabhupada is translated according to the context. We say reference by context or something, no? Context sensitivity, like that. I will tell you a beautiful difference. Now, when you go back, Prabhu, to the verse, can you click on that word Vishate? In the last line, it is there. Yes. Now, normally Sanskrit word Vishate means enter. Okay. That is why he used the word enters in 4.19, 34 and 11.17, 58. But 284 is very interesting. Why he is using the word manifest? And why here enters, why there manifest? Here we are he's saying this Vishate word is used in our current verse, Masmin Maharaja. In that he is telling, we enter into the darkest region. Now here, if you see, Bhagavan Vishate Hridi, that is the verse we have. That is a line, last line we have. That is a place where word Vishate is used. And how it is translated, become manifest. So if you read the translation, can somebody read this translation? This is one of the best verses.
Persons who hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and are always taking the matter very seriously will have the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna manifested in their hearts within a short time.
Now we have to contemplate on the difference between the word enters and manifest. Why Vishate normally in Sanskrit it means enters, but why Prabhupada is using the word becomes manifest here?
Prabhuji, may I attempt?
Please, Mataji.
Is it because see, in our heart, Sri Krishna has already entered the
He's
heart
already
as the second soul.
residing.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to enter. He's
So he
already
doesn't have to
residing.
enter again. Yeah. So
Ah.
when we do when we read or recite the Bhagavatam regularly, and we are serious about our reading and trying to understand, so then he manifests in the sense we get to know he is there within.
Yes, we are just turning our head. He's always there. We are turning our head from Bahirmukha to Antarbukha, and we are able to see, take darshan of Krishna. That is why this word manifest is very important. It's always there. Sun is always there. It is just manifesting to us at in the morning around 6, 7 o'clock or 5 o'clock or whatever. He is always there. Just that we are not able to see. And he is manifesting to us when we have the capacity to see. Isn't it? We are in one place, so we are not able to see sun all the time. But if you go higher, above the earth, whatever, above the clouds, whatever, then you will be able to see the sun much longer. Isn't it? So that is why there's a difference between Krishna doing Vishate and we doing Vishate. Krishna is doing Vishate means it is manifested in our hearts within a short time. But the way to make him manifest is by we hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and taking the matter seriously, Swacheshtita, by our own endeavor. Now we come back to this Masmin Shloka where the word Vishate is used. So Vishate Tamondam, Atirushtam Vishate Tamondam. Here is what he's saying. Can we read the last statement, the translation? So what does that mean? We are not in the materialistic darkest region. We are not in the materialistic thing by nature. But when we are trying to rectify such reversals, we are entering there. It's not that we are always materialistic and that way. No. Every time we try to rectify such things, we enter into that dark region.
Means, Prabhuji, when we try to act against the plan of Krishna, that's what we mean by reversal.
Yes, yes. We are not accepting the providential arrangement.
Yeah.
When whatever we plan, when it goes awry, it goes in the contrary. Then what we do? We think that no, it should not happen that way. I will try to rectify it. Once all right, twice all right, but repeatedly if it is happening, then we are doing the same thing. Then we are entering into the darkest region. This darkest region of materialistic thought is very interesting. Tamandam is the only word that is used, but Prabhupada has translated it in the translation so beautifully that the more we enter into the darkest region of materialistic thought. If it isn't, the more we enter into the darkest region, it would have been literally correct. But the word materialistic thought is a realized translation of Prabhupada because he knows the reference by context. You see, because the fight is going on between Prithu Maharaj and Indra. Prithu Maharaj, by nature, he is not having materialistic thoughts. But the more he is thinking about Indra, disturbing my this thing, so on, the service, etc., the more he keeps thinking about his bad quality, Indra's bad quality. Even though he is by nature, he is not that way. You see? So forcibly or artificially, he is entering into that dark region of materialistic thought. Materialistic thought is, what is materialistic thought? Let's try to understand. It's a beautiful phrase it is. Prabhupada is trying to do here. Ranjana Mataji, you said some beautiful point, like past past, for past, we are talking about what has happened in the past, lamenting, oh, it should have happened this way. In the hindsight, we think it should have happened this way, it should happen that way. Can also be considered as an attempt to rectify the reversal. Yes. Or thinking that I'm not able to rectify the reversal. Yeah, that is also enter into the dark region of materialistic. So what is this materialistic thought now? Prabhupada is introducing that the first time in this particular verse. See, all these things we are discussing without even touching the purport yet. To the best of our ability, we should do that. Not that we assume something and this is what is correct. No. Again, later we will confirm it with the purport of Prabhupada. That whether whatever conclusion we are coming to is all right or not. Not only this purport, maybe some other purport also we can refer to. And that's where we are linking and connecting. Right? So now let's try to focus on what is this materialistic thought that Prabhupada is talking about. Let's have the discussion.
That is, we get more into the attachment mode of body and bodily concepts.
That's at a very high level, abstract level. Got to go even down.
Prabhuji, we
so one minute, Prabhuji. Mataji is saying something here. Materialistic thought is I am the controller and I can lord it. I can lord it over the material nature for my pleasure. Yes, that's a more on the ground level, that which I can relate to. Right?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Prabhuji,
yes,
materialistic thought in a general term, like for a common term, we can say the thought for sense enjoyment. Sense gratification.
That is there. But why would you want to have the sense enjoyment? Let's try to go deeper. Anybody can answer. Why do you feel that this sense enjoyment has to be there?
Because
for example, go ahead, Prabhuji. Sorry.
Yeah,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
It is deep rooted within. It is there in the within the living entity to enjoy the senses, to gratify the senses. So thoughts comes, and the Supreme Lord as a Paramatma, he try to fulfill that. The thought become into action, and thought become to words, and word become to action.
Okay, that's a good point, Prabhu. Anumataji, you were trying to say something also.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I was saying, so in this very case, how I'm relating it, say if my pride or if my expectations are not met, right? Then I try to get into, why this didn't happen, or why this person is doing like that. That's a materialistic thought that now I would start to question.
Yes, you are trying to come close. You are almost coming closer to that. Yes, we are questioning, correct. But little bit ahead, we should go to this thing. You came to this point of why is this person doing like this, correct? I think you mentioned that kind of statement. Why is this person doing like this? Why am I getting this kind of a reaction from him, right? So this, why is this person doing like this? Identifying that person as the cause of our...
Is it Prabhuji, aham mama?
Sorry, Prabhu, aham mama? No, yeah, it's just an extension of that. But a little bit more better way to relate to it is, which we always do. That's what I'm saying. Relate to means we are more used to doing that. What is that? Like when something happens, we try to identify some so-and-so person as the cause of my anxiety. Yes. Correct? This person is the cause of my disturbance. We don't see Krishna behind that.
So true.
We don't see Krishna standing there beside.
Yes,
right? That is the materialistic thought. This is how we should come to a point where we can relate. Yes, this is exactly what I am doing. somebody is always constantly giving me trouble. I feel that this person is my enemy. This person is a deadly enemy for me. If only this person is not there, I will be so happy in my life. That is the materialistic thought. Because I am identifying this person as the cause of my problem. Like Avanti Brahmana says that beautiful thing, right, which we have been discussing in the other the discussion. He rejected every single thing like Nayam Janome. These people are not the cause of my happiness and distress. Na Devata, demigods are not the cause. Atma, my own body and soul, they are not the cause. Grahas are not the cause of my problems. Kala, time is also not the cause of my problem. Karma is also not the cause of my problem. He rejected all these 6 different things which normally we put the blame on. So materialistic thought means putting the blame on someone else for my problem. Identifying someone as the cause of my difficulties. We forget that for above and all everything, it is Krishna who is controlling. Does this help to some extent?
Beautiful
Prabhuji,
explanation. Thank you.
Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
so Prabhuji, not understanding Krishna is the Sarva Karanam Karanam, or
Yes.
not understanding Krishna is the but Prabhuji,
Not
by
seeing
understanding
Krishna.
this,
No, yes, Prabhuji, yes, go ahead.
Prabhuji, sometimes even Prabhuji, when we practicing devotional service, the thought comes on the other way. The thoughts come that why Krishna did. We understand Krishna is behind this, and we think why Krishna has done this with me. This happened.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we think like that, that is another. It's an outcome of another materialistic thought. You know what is that materialistic thought? That I am a devotee. No one should do anything to me, not even Krishna. Isn't that true?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes,
I think
true,
that the
Prabhuji.
moment I put tilak and wear Gudoti Kurta and go to the temple and with the chanting beads, I should be carried in a palanquin and everybody should do Jai Jai, Jai Jai Kar karna. And we forget that all the devotees in Bhagavatam, they struggled the most. We are nothing. We are actually enjoying the fruits of their hard work. We are enjoying the fruits of our dear Srila Prabhupada and our all wonderful Vaishnavas and spiritual masters and so on. Actually, we haven't done that kind of a sacrifice, really. Yes, Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, even materialistic thought would also be that we are considering somebody to be the cause of our problem. At the same time, we are also considering somebody to be the cause of our happiness.
Both ways. Both are correct.
Right.
You are saying both. The Sukha Dukkha Hetu. That's what he's saying. These people are not the cause of my happiness and distress. That Avanti Brahmana, he was lying down. He's not going and asking for any food from anybody. But some good-natured people come and offer him some prasad. At the same time, somebody comes and spits on it or throws mud on it. He is about to eat and they are throwing mud or thing, they are urinating on it and all kinds of things they are doing. So he is neither thankful, he is neither happy that somebody is giving him the food, nor is he disturbed that somebody is spoiling him that food and prevent him from eating. You see? In both cases, it is ultimately Krishna who is giving it. They all are just puppets in his hand. All others are just puppets in his hand.
I said this because, Prabhuji, most of the times we concentrate on our problems and who is the cause of our problem. We don't really
we try to find out who is the cause of the problem, who is the cause of the problem.
Yeah.
The simplest way in devotional services, we know who is the cause of the problem. I remember many. Sorry, Prabhu. Sorry, Mataji.
No, because we don't really consider, okay, if we are getting happiness from somewhere, then that is also a materialistic thought and materialistic problem only in a way, but that we don't really reflect upon. We are always all the time thinking in terms of problems.
Yes. Very true, very true. Oh my God, too many hands are there. Who wants to go first? Sanchalapati Prabhu or Anandram Prabhu?
I will go last to the other devotees continue.
Sanchalapati Prabhu, yes, please.
Prabhuji, I was once you are saying that materialistic thought is that we don't see Krishna's present. We blame somebody else. But if we are at that situation that we will see the Krishna's present, then there will be the no case of agitation and anxious.
Correct.
So, but
that's the solution.
But we are always in this agitated and anxious position, always in disturbed position.
Because we are seeing people, so many people as the cause of my anxiety and distress. This person did not respect me. That person insulted me. This person is good with me. Like that, we are discriminating.
Prabhu, just I want to take 1 minute. When you were explaining this translation, in my mind, one situation was coming on, so I want to just share it. Suppose when office at 5 p.m. when I am ready to pack up, I have made a plan that in evening I have to do this activity, family or somewhere, and I have an engagement. And at that moment, if my boss comes and gives me some work, at that time both agitation and anxiousness come in my mind. And if I am disturbed, and if that time phone comes from house from my wife, what happened, have you started? I say no, ऐसे हो गया फंस गया हूँ मैं अब, or I will be late. So continuously while doing the job also I am disturbed, while coming to home I am disturbed, and the engagement which I have kept, that engagement also I attain in disturbed situation. So it was related to this. That was I was thinking, that darkest stage of material thought.
Happens all the time, isn't it, Prabhu? Real funny. No, I mean, such kind of things, we cannot help it, right? So we should try to, this is a fire at two ends, right? You will have to put off that fire, which will keep going all the time if you don't extinguish. Isn't it? You may know there is one option. I mean, these things are all very subjective, Prabhu. It's case to case basis. So we cannot just tell that you do like this. In the morning, if you tell, or well ahead of time, if you are telling the boss that, sir, at 6 o'clock I have to go, please don't give me, 5 o'clock I have to go, please don't give me any job work today. Whatever it is there, I will come and do it tomorrow. If you tell him already, then evening when he comes and, sir, I have already told you. And still he says, no, but still the pressure is coming from the top. Then we'll tell, okay, I told him, but still he is wanting us to do. So this is a very important thing I will have to do. And apologize to Mataji and children for that. Isn't it? That is one way. But if both, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a challenge that is presented in front of us by Krishna. Neither is our wife cause of our anxiety, nor is the boss cause of our anxiety. That is what Bhagavatam's message is. And another important thing that we should learn from this, Prabhu, is that we are trying to make this life as a... We are trying to think, we are endeavoring our best to make Golokam in this world. You get me?
Yes, Prabhu.
And that's a biggest problem, because this is Dukkalayama Shashvatam. How much ever you try, you can, maybe to a certain extent for devotees, Krishna will help, but it is not possible that it will be like that always. So we will have to accept it. We have to accept the situations with whatever mixed things that it is giving us.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So the cases are presented in different ways, only to create agitation and anxiety. But when we see that in everything Krishna's hand is there, the agitation and anxiety can come down a little bit. At least it will be mitigated to a manageable extent. Otherwise, the problem is we will only be thinking about the problem and not about the alternate ways or the solutions. You see, or when you see Krishna is doing it, then we will stop retaliating. The biggest challenge we face, Prabhu's Mataji, is that we are wasting so much of our time in preparing for retaliation, isn't it? And that is what Bhagavatam wants to save. Bhagavatam's main idea is to save our time and energy. And that way our mind can be composed. Yes, it's bound to be like this. Let's not. Sometimes it happens through experience, our anubhav over the years in this world. Sometimes by these philosophical discussions and trying to understand through this. That's why this particular verse is so practical. This chapter, why of all the chapters, Indra coming and stealing the horse from Prithu is being placed here in Bhagavatam. Because it is giving us such a practical message to follow in our daily life challenges. So the whole thing is that if you try to rectify that reversal, we are entering into materialistic. Now, so taking Chandrapati Prabhu's example, like if the boss is coming and giving the work in the last minute, there are only two options you have. One is you tell him that, no, sorry, I cannot do it now, I have to go. Another thing is you say to Mataji that, sorry, I have to come late, I will finish this work and come, you carry on, and then finish the work and give it to him. These are the only two things you can do. Right? But what Bhagavatam says is, you take either of the option, no problem. That is not Bhagavatam's direction to you. Bhagavatam's direction is, either of these option you take, don't begrudge or complain about this, meditating on this boss, how I will take revenge on him. Tomorrow I will come and make sure that I will tell his boss what he is doing. Or I will make sure that, I will not, I will take leave in the most critical circumstance. I will teach him a lesson when I am not there, how this company is. These kind of things are materialistic thought. You get me, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Now
So
I got that.
Bhagavatam is guiding us to avoid getting caught up in these materialistic thoughts. How you are solving that situation is left to each one's capability. If you think that you can convince Mataji easier, then you can do the work of the job. If you think that you can convince the boss is here, you can convince and come to home. Or if you think that both of them are not easily, you cannot convince either of them easily, raise your hands and say Hare Krishna and then do the job. Do whatever you want, either way. So how you are approaching that problem is, or how you are solving that detailed level, Bhagavatam, not so much, it doesn't go that much, but it gives us the principle. You see, it gives us the principle that how you approach here to avoid getting into the materialistic thought, being anxious and being agitated about it. Thank you, Prabhu. Such a wonderful thing you said. Before we go to Anandaram Prabhu, there are a few quotes here. I just, this is a nice thing that Reshma Mata is saying, that we always think that the problem comes due to our karma and some happiness comes due to Krishna's mercy. That is wrong. That is not the thing. Karma only brings us happiness also. But then the karma is controlled by time, time is controlled by Krishna. Ultimately, whether to be happy or sad, in whatever circumstances, karma, whatever comes to us, is in our hands. That's the point of Bhagavatam. When you keep your mind detached from all this happiness and this thing, whatever, and absorb ourselves in devotional service, then these other things are just some intermediate cause which is of no use, because you are controlled to the final person who is feeling for each of these causes. Whether it is karma, kala, whatever, they are going to give trouble, happiness, or whatever. But at the end of the day, if we are getting sucked up by these things, that's the mind is the ultimate karanam, mana param karanam, right? That is the thing. So Sachindan Prabhu also says a beautiful point. This is from Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 9th chapter, I think verse 14 or 15. There is nothing to be lamented when things are beyond our control. I think we should follow this motto, Chansamati Prabhu. Nothing to be lamented. What is there to lament? Because everything is beyond our, things are beyond our control. What is the use of meditating on it? I should have done like this, I should have done like that. So Revati Mataji is asking, she's sending the thing to direct message to me, so others would not have seen it. Oh, what should be our mood when facing reversals? Can you please explain? Should we take responsibility of our actions and think Krishna is only giving this to bring me more closer to him? He is our ultimate well-wisher. Yes, this is a good way of approaching. Yes, Krishna is teaching this lesson for me to come closer to him. That's a positive way of, in that way you will not be unnecessarily agitated and anxious. See, when we see Krishna's hand behind everything, then we will be able to be detached from the reversals, from the effects of those reversals. It will not impact our mind so much. Thank you so much for these nice insightful questions. Sorry, now I am coming to Anandaram Prabhu. Sorry for the delay, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
So this line in the translation says that we should always remember that if something happens by providential arrangement, we should not be very sorry. Now I am trying to understand it in different.
We should not be very sorry is a very interesting word. What is that? We should not be very sorry means. Sorry for what?
First of all, I am not able to understand the word here, providential arrangement, because first, if everything is happening because of the will of the Lord, of course, we are into it because of karma and everything. So everything is providential in that perspective. So why then there is something, some things are only providential is being written over there.
See, Prabhu, it is like this.
At the same time, let me complete. At the same time, the purport is said that this providential thing is only related for people who are saintly and religious persons. So is it relevant to us or only for divine?
No, Prabhupada doesn't say that it's only for religious persons, saintly and sometimes the saintly or very religious persons also has to meet with reversals in life.
So such incidents should be taken as providential.
Yes,
so, then
sometimes
those events which we taking place in our life are not providential.
Sorry, come again. Your voice was breaking.
So those events which are taking in our play, in our areas, in our life, those reversals, because we may not consider ourselves very saintly or very religious. So are they providential or not providential?
Prabhu, ultimately everything is providential. Because Daiva Kalacakra Krsna. That ultimately everything is being controlled by Krishna. But ultimately he is the one who is sanctioning. But there are certain things where this particular thing is why Prabhupada is saying like this is because Prithu Maharaj is with very good intention he is doing certain things. Right? And he does not have anything to gain for himself. He is not doing it for name and fame. He is a very pure devotee. And he is incarnation of Krishna also. All those things are there. And he is doing everything for others' well-being. But still when his activity is disturbed, normally we may be thinking, what happened? Why it is happening like this? He is doing it for everybody's good only. Even in that, if some problem is coming, then what's the point? So Krishna actually wanted to teach a higher lesson. And for that, he is coming and he is creating this providential impediment himself. In other words, this is not happening because of Prithu Maharaj's karma. You get me, Prabhu? There is an interference by Krishna in this process. Prithu Maharaj is not committed a karma in the past because of which his 99, it is stopped with this 99th sacrifice.
So in the case of great devotees, like we see reversal in the case of the action taken by Parikshit Maharaj. Nobody would have conceived that Parikshit Maharaj would do such a audacious activity. But then also that also can be said that it is providential.
Yes, there was no karma which caused that. There is no karma that caused Pandavas to go to the forest.
Of course, some people will say, like, well, Parikshit Maharaj allowed Kali to sit in the gold.
No,
And
that is
gold, all those things
forget
are very
forget about it.
preliminary arguments. Because for a person like Parikshit Maharaj,
actually, it is not authentic. No, it's not. It's not preliminary alone. It is not even authentic.
Yeah,
because
it
you
doesn't
see,
affect at all.
Because Bhagavatam, Prabhupada very clearly mentions it that it is not because of Parikshit Maharaj's fault that Kali spread, but it is because of the Shringi's fault. It is Shringi who was proud of his prowess, and he wanted to curse and show to the
without
children
understanding
how
the
powerful
situation very clearly, he just shows his display of powers.
Yeah, exactly. The same way you see in Bhagavatam in many places, Bharat Maharaj's situation, why he fell down, Prabhupada clearly says it is not because of his karma. Pandavas, why they had to go through so many difficulties, again he says it is not because of his karma. So it is, Krishna is voluntarily putting some trouble, some reversals in these pure devotees' lives to teach something really higher. But we should take lessons from them.
That is the point I want to come to. That is providential arrangement word, when it is made, it is not for common person like us. Providential arrangement here is for those exclusive reversals which are happening in devotees' life, pure devotees' lives, where we cannot understand only like how can such things happen. So those are actually true plans of the Lord to bring out the exemplary qualities of devotees.
That is true. In our case also providential impediments can happen. But how we should approach in such situation is that, such great pure devotees also will have to go through reversals where Krishna is forcing them to go through struggles. Then who am I? They don't have any karma. Still they are struggling. And I have so much karma because of which these things are happening. And I am nowhere near them in terms of purity. So I should not demand that Krishna, you please remove this thing from me. What are you doing sitting simply there eating prasadam and not taking care of my problems? So like this, we should not question him or challenge him. We don't have any capacity or we don't deserve to question Krishna. So to that extent, we convince ourselves that these providential impediments are due to my karma and Krishna is just sanctioning that karma to be the reaction to be given to us.
The karma to
reaction to us. The only problem, the only thing I have to do is nistara, just tolerate. There's a beautiful shloka in the Shastras.
Tolerate it and let me be in Krishna consciousness and continue.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nistara is the only word. Tolerate.
Nice explanation too. Thank you.
Forbear it. Yeah. There's a nice shloka. Sukasya dukkasya napopi data paro dadati tipu buddhi resha Purakritam karma sadaiva bujyate dehin kvachin nistarayattvaya kritam. It's a very beautiful verse. Sukha and dukkha nobody gives. Happiness and distress nobody gives. Paro dadati iti kubudhi resha. One who is dull intelligent or improper intelligence, understanding, he thinks that others are giving. This person is giving me happiness, that person is giving me trouble, etc., etc. But original cause is purakritam karma. Whatever karma you have done in the past, that is what you are enjoying and suffering now. Of course, sanctioned by Krishna, but it is our karma that is coming back to us. Dehin question. So what is the solution? As long as you are in this body, nistara, simply tolerate. The only way to cancel or make the reactions void is by tolerating, patiently going through it. There's no way you can escape it. You can do mantra, tantra, whatever you want, but you cannot escape your karma. That is the highest thing. So nobody is giving us. It's our own thing. And that is the best way to reverse the reversals or counteract the reversals. Just simply tolerate. Yes, it's happening because of my own thing. That is why every one of these examples, like Parikshit Maharaj, Bharat Maharaj, Pandavas, or anyone for that matter, or Prahlad Maharaj, anyone for that matter, none of them went through their problems because of their karma. But every one of them felt that it is my karma that is the cause of my problem. I am no way excluded from it. I am nowhere an exception there. So let me patiently go through. Even though it is not their karma, they are not taking it like, well, I am a pure devotee, I should not have any karma. This must be Krishna giving me this thing for to glorify me. All kinds of things, we find any way and every way to get glorified. So that is why they teach us this lesson, so beautiful lesson. All these pure devotees in Bhagavatam, that Krishna may say that I don't have any karma, but I know I must have done something really bad in my life. Sorry, Sriniketan Prabhu, sorry, you had raised your hand for a while.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam.
Dandat Pranam, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
No, actually, Prabhu, I feel that we don't have to go that far to like the reversals about Prithu Maharaj or Prishit Maharaj. We can see in the life of Srila Prabhupada itself. Well before he had established ISKCON, he had started the League of Devotees.
Yeah.
And he was given a big place and all. And next day it was taken back from him. And
Prabhu, I didn't. I think you read my mind while I was just half an hour before I was thinking about this whole thing. This exact same example came to my mind. Exact same example. It slipped me because of the various discussions that we had, and I think Krishna inspired you to share because that's a glorify that pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes.
Maharaj used to say this, no? That when the person came to, initially he gave the place, this is your place, you just take it.
Yes.
But after, say, a few months or years, this person comes and tells that, no, I want to use this place for some ladies' club or something.
Yes.
It sounds pretty naive the way he is saying, Prabhupada is doing such a glorious thing, and there are so many places there the club could have been organized, but he lost his mind and probably he might have asked this thing. But Prabhupada thought none of it.
None of it. And he was smiling actually.
Yeah, smiling, and he just gave the key, took his bag and left without turning back.
Yes.
That is the best way to rectify the reversals. And he didn't have an iota of grudge on Krishna or
lamentation,
that person or lamentation, nothing.
Nothing.
He said, you want it? Take it. Krishna gave me, no, he is taking it.
Yes.
Prahlad Maharaj says this beautifully when Bali Maharaj is punished. He says, you gave all these things, this opulence to Bali Maharaj. No, you only took it. So what's the big deal? There's nothing wrong. It's yours, you have given it, and you are taking it back. We are renting somebody's house. The owner is giving the rent every month. One fine day, the owner comes and tells, come on, I want to use this house. Can you please vacate? Will you fight with him? We'll say, okay, thank you, and he'll go find some other place. Thank you, Prabhu. Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. And Prabhu, one more point actually. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Actually, we are saying that Indra is envious on, but what I feel is that Indra is not actually envious, but Krishna wanted him to, he's playing the role. Like yesterday we said, by and large, the demigods, they follow the instructions of the Supreme Lord. Mm-hmm. So here, Indra is playing a role for Krishna actually.
Prabhu, there is a slight danger in this.
Okay.
If you say everybody is playing role, then everybody will claim I am not doing it. Krishna is doing it.
Krishna, right? Here Krishna wants to teach us actually. What I want to say is that,
Krishna wants to teach us, but actually the demigods are not free of envy and anger. That's what Brahma himself is saying here. No, if you see verse number, if you see verse number, which one is that?
His service is that he has been selected ideally for the role. That's all.
Sorry, Prabhu.
He has been selected ideally for that role to be played. That's all.
He
definitely had some envy. So that
my point was, Prabhu, we should not be envious of Indra. What I feel.
Who should not be envious of Indra?
No, we talk, and we the way please forgive me, but some devotees, the way they speak,
they put him down too much.
Down too much. Yeah, that is wrong, Prabhu.
That is wrong. That is wrong. Yeah. Because he's saying Indra is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes.
In this, he is one of the most powerful assistants of the Personality of Godhead. We can't question Krishna. Why, Krishna, you are having pure devotees in your service, and then you are putting us in the control of this person who is
the way some people they speak, like Indra is doing so many activities which are wrong actually.
Yes.
So
yes.
that the intention that way, as if they're downgrading Lord Indra, which is wrong.
Yeah, we can't be judgmental. That's the point. We can't be judgmental of Indra just because he did wrong. What he did at that point is wrong.
Yes.
But he also has some good qualities. And how Krishna is taking someone's position and giving them service in spite of their bad quality and all that is Krishna's thing. We cannot judge Krishna.
Yes.
Why is Krishna you are giving this control to Indra even though he is such a so many aparadas is doing?
Yes.
But Krishna says it's my problem. What is your problem? You are getting rain. No, just be happy with your rain.
Yes.
He is giving rain for you at the time. No, whenever you want.
Yes.
He is not taking your wife. He is not taking your children. So you just be happy.
Yes. Like sometimes like devotees take about the Govardhan Leela in another. But what sometimes we can say that, but because of that Govardhan Leela, all the devotees could see Krishna
for
7 days. So in Krishna was very happy from inside that because of Indra,
inadvertently by his aparad, he committed a good activity.
Good activity.
Inadvertently.
Inadvertently, yes.
So that is how we should try to see there. Thank you, Prabhu. Nice. So non-envy is typical of Vaikuntha. However, when one is envious of his competitor, that is material. The demigods posted in the material world are not exempt from envy. Thank you, Sachindan Prabhu. This is what I was looking for. Brahmaji is saying it is not your duty. What Anumataji, you are referring to this point for the discussion?
Yes, Prabhuji, the discussion that we were having where we pinpoint to King Indra. Brahmaji clearly said it is not your duty. Like we do that all the time in our life.
When Prithu Maharaj has told you it is not your duty for such an immaculate representative of himself, what are we, So we are just recipients of their mercy. If Vayu just stops his wind, we all will be suffocated to death. Or if Indra doesn't give us rain at the right time, we will be finished. We are dependent on all of them.
So true.
Thank you. So there is some nice, interesting quote in 1st Canto 19th chapter for the same thing about how we should relate to the demigods. Maybe we'll discuss that tomorrow. So already time. Or you wanted to do it, Prabhu? You wanted to share it? Just to have a quick reference to it. We just 2-3 minutes it will take. Let's see. So now this, by the way, this Masmin Maharaja is not yet complete for your information. We haven't even touched the purport. You see, this is the deep study thing. Just a sample. We are talking about just a glimpse of the thing. Let's read it. 119:18. We might be, as Sriniketan Prabhu pointed out, that we have so many negative things about the demigods. We hear so many negative things about the demigods even in Bhagavatam. But this is really an eye-opener for us. Can somebody read this translation? Purport. I'm sorry.
May I read through?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Even up to the time of Maharaja Parikshit, there were interplanetary communications, and the news of Maharaj Parikshit fasting unto death to attain salvation reached the higher planets in the sky, where the intelligent demigods live. The demigods are more luxurious than human beings, but all of them are obedient to the order of the Supreme Lord. There is no one in the heavenly planets who is an atheist or non-believer. Thus, any devotee of the Lord on the surface of the earth is always praised by them, and in the in the case of Maharaj Parikshit, they were greatly delighted and thus gave it tokens of honor by scattering flower over the earth and by beating celestial drums. A demigod takes pleasure in seeing someone go back to Godhead. He is always pleased with a devotee of the Lord, so much so that by his adidaivic power, he may help the devotees in all respect, and by their actions, the Lord is pleased with them. There is an invisible chain of complete cooperation between the Lord and demigods and the devotee of the Lord on earth. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. You see this purport, how beautifully Prabhupada has explained the connection between us, the demigods, and our activities, and their reciprocation, and how, you see, a demigod takes pleasure in seeing someone go back to Godhead. They are not envious of people going back to Godhead. They are only envious of people who are trying to take ownership of or control of their Svargaloka and other places, their positions and all that. So Prithu Maharaj, when he was doing this 100 yajna, Indra was worried that why he is doing like this. He is trying to take my position or what? Everybody is glorifying him also. Nobody is glorifying me. So definitely there is some plan to unseat me. So these insecurities come in. Whereas when the case of Prabhupada's example that we just discussed, he didn't have anything. Why are these people coming and taking? What are they doing? What is their spiritual thing? I am doing so much for this world. Nobody cares for me. None of these thoughts came to me. He just simply, it's not mine, it's yours. You have full right to take it anytime you want. Come on, please have this key and move on. And that's the best way of avoiding reversals, best way of getting out of the dark region of materialistic thoughts. Because he sees that it is Krishna's plan. When we see Krishna's hand in everything, then we will be quick to come out of those thoughts to avoid to counteract those reversals, you see. So this purport is so amazing a purport that they are throwing flowers, scattering flowers on Parikshit Maharaj the moment they hear that, oh, he has done such a nice vow to study, to hear Bhagavatam and nothing else. He knows that this has happened as a injustice to him. But in spite of that, he is really composed. He's carrying on with this next, what I have to do. That's the thing. That's all in his mind. And they are really amazed at how he is approaching this challenge. So does that help? This part is, you can always remember this sloka. Anybody tells something bad about the demigods, you can quote this purport, 119:18. This is really an astounding purport. I love this. When Prabhupada says this, there's an invisible chain of complete cooperation. Krishna is telling them, make sure you don't disturb my devotees without my permission. And then they are acting accordingly because they know that the Lord will be disturbed when something happens. And then the devotees also don't disrespect the demigods unnecessarily. They know that the demigods are the part and parcel of Krishna. They are doing the duty as directed by Krishna. And ultimately everything is in Krishna's control. So whatever they are doing, I don't question. And even if they are doing something wrong, Krishna is there to question. Who am I to question? So this is Bhagavatam way. That's why this chapter, this shlokas are so amazing. So I'll stop here, Prabhus. If there's any questions or comments you have for the next few minutes, and then we will we'll discuss further tomorrow on this few verses. You see how we were going around, just sanchar, we say, sanchar. You're just wandering around in these slokas and trying to discuss, meditate. This one point here, is one point there, and questions like this. When we do the group study, this is the best offering that we can do to Prabhupada. Best offering we can do to Prabhupada. Prabhupada will be so much happy. So we go with this, what you call, like this we can always have our discussions. It's nice, relishable points will come out. And that's where, that's the reason Prabhupada wrote these books actually, wrote these purports, transcendental purports and word for word. All we took was some word for word and some translation, some phrases, and then see the discussions happening. And then it increases our faith and firmly fixes it at the lotus feet of Krishna. That's the most important thing that happens. Revati Mataji is asking, Prithu Maharaj is Satyavish incarnation, a devotee of Lord, still King Vidra got envious. What to speak of Prithu Maharaj, Mataji? Even Shishupal was envious of Krishna himself. Duryodhana was envious of Krishna also. What to speak of Satyavish avatar of Prithu Maharaj? There is envy is always there everywhere, so not to worry. It's always there. We can be envious of anybody and everybody. Sorry, Chanchalvati Prabhu, you raised your hand.
Prabhuji, one small question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Today we have understood that if there is any reversal, we should see Krishna's hand. It is all having by Krishna's hand. Now I want to just clarify. Okay, I accepted that reversal is there and Krishna's presence is there. It is by Krishna's presence, Krishna's hand is there. Now, after understanding this, still should we make something to overcome the reversal or to make something our life little comfortable? Should we make any effort or not?
Prabhu, within our capacity, whatever you can do, you can do. Right? What does that mean? Like, say, for example, you cannot stop the rain, but you can carry an umbrella. That is what is avoiding the reversal. If I said simply and said, see, this Indra is so envious of me. Exactly when I was supposed to go to the program, he is coming, he is giving rains. This is a materialistic part.
Sorry.
Right? This is how we do, isn't it? Most of the time. This boss has no sense. Exactly when I was about to leave for a function, he is coming and giving me. He's so envious of me enjoying.
Rain, the signal got red when I'm going for the program.
Yeah. Instead, he just carry the umbrella. Put on a raincoat. What is that raincoat? That Krishna is ultimately doing it. He is not doing it. See Krishna's hand in everything. That's what our when Yudhishthira Maharaj is lamenting for Dhritarashtra and Gandhari leaving the palace. That's what Nardamuni's advice is. See, everything is in Krishna's hand. Nobody is exempted from that. We are all like puppets handing in puppets in our in his hands. He is the ultimate puppeteer. Very nice, lovely discussion. I enjoyed it. Thank you. Yeah, this very nice realization by Anumataji. Sometimes by not doing anything or by not reacting to anything, we also solve the situation better. Yes, at least when we don't speak, people will not know what we are thinking in our mind. So at least to that extent, we can refrain. Just restrain ourselves from, from blasting or committing too much. That happens when Krishna is in our thoughts. When we see Krishna in our thoughts as his ultimate controller always, then we will be able to nistara, that forbear, or just accept, go through the thing, not try to avoid, work around, counteract, none of these things. Okay, I have to go through, let me go through. That's the whole thing. Vishnu Maharaj went through the whole thing, 12 years, 13 years. He strictly went through that, even though he was not at all supposed to be punished like that. Krishna's arrangement. Thank you so much, Prabhu Mataji. I think we'll stop here. Wonderful discussion today again. And Krishna will do a little bit more digging deeper into this sloka. The idea is ultimately at the end of the day, you will fall in love with that sloka or that chapter. Many times we used to do like this for this is 4.19 we were doing. So similarly 1.19, first canto 19th chapter we would do with different deeper study. We will be doing it for a considerable period of time. We will not just do it for 1 or 2 hours like that. We'll be doing it for like quite a few weeks like that. So with whomever we were studying this chapter, they fell in love with that chapter, and they fell in love with Prithu Maharaj's character. Parishit Maharaj's character. So they never thought that so many beautiful things are coming out of this this one shloka about the transcendental qualities of Parishit Maharaj. Like that. So yeah, this is very, very important. I think we'll stop here. Pranam. Krishna willing, are we connecting tomorrow again, right, Prabhu? Madhusevit Prabhu and Anandram Prabhu. We will discuss this. With tomorrow, we will try to conclude this particular section. We are just doing sample. No, we are not doing the entire chapter. So we are just doing it with this one shloka. And then a few more points which I will have to cover. And I think by Krishna willing, by Friday we should close this discussion if it is okay. There are multiple things to be covered, but I will try to keep it as brief and concise as possible. And then you can be on your own anytime you want. Any support, I will always be there. But you can continue with your discussions. I hope these things which we are doing is little bit at least helping in your serious study also going forward.
Totally, Prabhuji. Thank you.
We'll stop here. Hare Krishna. Meet tomorrow same time 9 o'clock. Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.